my first job, I was 12. I worked at a flea market in Kansas City.
And here there were 12 in job.
We had, it was fun. It was right across the street. And small crew. And she paid me not in money, but in my choice of novelty gift items at the flea market. And so I bought a lot of stink bombs and like the gum that made your mouth black, like from the movies and stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember I took the stink bombs to school, and I was like, "Oh, John, you're gonna get yours for calling me a lame ass." Here's why he made fun of me. I specifically remembered actually. I was sitting there in class, and it's not that. And I was doing this, and I realized, wow, both of my elbows are popping. And I sit in the back of the class, and I was just going like this by myself. And this guy in the front said, "Hey, Pete, stop masturbating your tits." And everyone laughed at me.
Peak Kansan humor.
No, I wasn't yet. I was like, oh, damn, he got me bad. And so I brought the stink bombs back, and I didn't tell him. I was like, oh, okay, here we go. I'm going to get you. And he actually pushed me down in my chair, and they were in my back pocket, and exploded all over my back. And then I smelled like ass for like 3 days, dude. That was like right up, like it was in my skin for 3 days. So I like double lost that one.
Like Spider-Man.
So you never got him back?
No. And back 4 years later, I switched schools that year. And I said, well, at least John won't get me. I was in middle school, and sure enough, my first day, we had an all-class lunch, and I was sitting there, and I have no friends. It's not so dissimilar from that. And I'm like eating, and this guy was like, "Hey, stink ass," and I was like, and like not at the same table, but like slightly between the two was John.
No.
And I was like, yes, and I was like, damn it. And so he had this T-shirt on, and I had a Hawaiian Punch. You know, it's a drink. It's a.
I know.
And he kept making fun of me, and everyone was kind of laughing. And I said, "Okay," and I shot it at him, and that's pretty brave.
Yeah,
and it got all over his shirt. And then he was like, "You are dead." And I was like, "Come get it." And like he got me come get it. And he got me in a headlock, really tight, and started punching me in the stomach repeatedly. All right, like badly. And I'm like 12 or 13 at this time. And I remember I ripped a part of his hair out. And I remember looking at it, and it was infested with like dandruff and like white shit, and it was all greasy to the touch. And he's railing on me in the stomach. And I finally, the teacher separated us. You know the worst part? I can't breathe. I'm barely able to stand. I got my ass beat. Everyone saw it. There's a whole school in the lunchroom.
You ripped his hair out. I
did, but I decided to save face. And so this is so embarrassing. I thought like, maybe nobody thought I got my ass kicked. So I acted like Karate Kid, and I was like, what? I like stood up on one leg and did like some pose.
No.
I did. And then everyone just laughed. I got suspended for 4 days, and here's the worst part. Here's the absolute worst part. It was bad. The worst part was they couldn't reach any of our parents to pick us up from school. So they said this. They said, well, Pete, you go home first, and John, you go home later, or whatever. And I start to leave, and I get like, I talk to my friends, I go, yeah, I got suspended for 4 days. And I start walking home, and sure enough, he's like, hey, stink ass! That guy found me because we lived right next to each other.
For fuck's sake.
And he beat the shit out of me in front of a trailer park on Kansas City streets. No one intervened that time.
No.
What happened to him?
We ended up in the same class together in high school.
No.
We became friends. I taught him how to play checkers. And Uno.
How did that happen?
Yeah, it's a story for another time. But that's why my first job of getting stink bombs and bubble gum ended in disaster.
Very convoluted story.
Well, you know.
Start with the jobs and end with a very depressing note of being beaten
I just want to say I'm really sorry that story took so long to everybody. I apologize. But yeah,
one
John,
of the great stories.
By the way, he's dead.
Oh.
He died outside of a strip club. Sorry, John.
I shouldn't laugh. That's why.
Nah, it's all right. He kind of.
Why would you just announce that?
That's the end of the story.
You can't tell a funny story and then throw that in.
Just kidding. God. He survived.
Is he actually dead?
He's dead.
Right.
What happened?
I don't know. You have to ask the people involved. I wasn't there.
What is happening in
Somebody's
Kansas City?
like.